Hello all. How you all doing? Just got another like 20 seconds left on ads for the Twitch viewers. So in just a moment, we'll get things kickstart everything. Give me a second. I need to do this. Need to do that. Hopefully, if I do this, there we go. I do up the top. The ad break, and there we go. We're done. Everyone should be back on Twitch side, so welcome. Hi, everyone. How is everyone doing? Sorry about that noise. It came out weird. Right, so second stream this week. Unfortunately, Wednesday didn't plan out getting go as I wanted to. But now we're back. And we are kicking off with some landscape splines, PCG. We're gonna try. The goal is to first of all, let's do this. You're just gonna chill, nothing stressful. Well, hopefully I've never been stressed on stream. Don't think I have. Either way, tangent, come back. What we're going to do is there is a feature in Unreal I never used before. I've seen clips of it on YouTube, and I believe it's called Landscape Spline, which integrates with the terrain system in Unreal. The goal I have is to first of all use that to kind of create the outer rim of our level, so we can have like slope going upwards, so that the player really can't go outside a certain boundary. And then I want to add just a PCG cliff assets to even further emphasize the fact that you're not supposed to be in this direction. We'll see if that is something for me to like. I want to keep that in the future. I am kind of curious to see what results we can get. What I'm worried about, not sure if that's correct, or what I'm kind of suspecting will happen is everything will work out more or less the way I want it to, but adding those assets, those cliffs to the side might feel repetitive, or it can't really blend well enough. So we'll see if we can figure out a different solution. It will be more obvious once we get to that point. Hopefully today we'll see. I have a YouTube video that I'll be going through just to kind of get into it myself, kind of learn what it is this tool is all about. And after that, we'll do some more experimentation. Yeah, that is kind of it. What we're playing for the day stream. Everyone's doing great. Also, I am testing a feature that is, I believe, quite new for YouTube streaming. And that is, I'm going to have to turn off the volume on my phone so you guys can't hear it. How do I do that? Like so? Yeah, like so. So what it is that you can automatically add a short, live short. That's what it's called. Though it might look weird. Pounds. How you doing? That's been way too long. And you're getting double messages of welcome. Why are you getting double? I'm assuming it's because this is going on. I do have 2 stream bots on. So how you been, Pounds? It's been a while. How's the game coming on? Well, it's been on a hiatus for quite, I'd say, about 2 months. I can kind of do this. I don't have to see the blur background. So it's been slow progress, but I'm getting there. So we can kind of launch real while we're at it. So yeah, just got into it to kind of explain an introduction to what we're going for today, which is some landscape spline and some PCG. Hopefully we'll get something we can work with. Yeah, if it feels scuff every now and then, it is because this is the second stream with a dual PC. So it might be weird. But I do believe I have the very basics down. But apart from apparently my streamer bot sending 2 messages, I didn't realize it counted the going live twice. Though it makes sense, I guess, because I have my account integrated to both stream bots, so that would make sense. Yeah, maybe I can kind of relieve one of the PCs. It's just that I feel so insecure because I do want all my functions on my Stream Deck, and I can't really connect to my PC. It's a weird setup. Maybe not ideal because I have my mic connected to my gaming PC because I have my Stream Deck also connected to my gaming PC, which is kind of necessary. Otherwise, the aux on this thing won't work because that is the Stream Deck is my aux input, right? So I can't connect it to my streaming PC unless I want to move everything over there. So I have to do this thing over the network with my Stream Deck. I'm not sure if that makes sense as an explanation, but that is what it is. So yeah. Right. Let's see. First of all, I need to make sure. Why is it that every time I launch, this always doesn't show? What that? Can I generate? Not. Why? Why are you doing this? How about that? Then generate? There we go. Right. It's a PCG, yes. Or landscape spline. That's the one I'm going for. The audio, I need to lower the volume of the music. For my ears, you will now hear this. And also I'm going to launch a tutorial on the side. So if I look like I'm trying to break my own neck, well, it is me trying to watch a video on the second monitor. I need to update my system. My setup or layout, I should say. Right now I have a big widescreen front, which is fine. This one on the side. I am slightly breaking my neck. So let's see. You need to be on. You need to be like this. I need to have you like so. There we go. And I can also see chat, both YouTube and Twitch. Awesome. All right. That was meant to test whether or not I'm stuck. Can't do 2 things at the same time. YouTube short live stream. That is what I wanted to test. So how do I do that? Needs to be off. How do I check this? How would I check this? Should I go to this part? No. This is so professional. Turn that off. Go to shorts. Nope. Go to live. Well, I can't really tell whether or not. You know what? I'm assuming it's working. Let's just go by that. Yeah, let's go with that. Right. Let's see. Turn down the volume. So all I need to learn, and I'm moving, see, okay, so it's already going through that part. Manage pub, spline, yep, makes sense so far. Okay, that is not something I was used to. Okay. We can turn off these things. Let's believe it's shift 1, no, it's shift 2. Yeah, it's shift 2 to go to hotkey for going to landscape mode. I believe we went to manage, right? Yes. Spline. The blueprint. I didn't know this. What's this? Custom paint tools created using blueprint. Okay. Perhaps I should look into that. Because I do have a tool that renders down a static mesh or static texture, I believe it's called. to from a render target down to static texture. That is the red colors right there. Perhaps that could be more useful in the future. Look into that. First of all, one thing at a time, and we're going for spline. Hold on control and click, and we got a spline. Perfect. Simple. Next, he is it right? Oh, okay. Fair enough. So we're going to click around a bit. There we go. Perfect. I'm assuming we can adjust this later on. But for right now, I do that. It's the way to do a close. No. How would I go about doing that part? Segments. I close this off. No, don't. That kind of defeats the point. I need to see what these two buttons also do. Need to cast shadows. Alright, let's just move on for now. Right. Try that one more time. What was it, dude? Half of his videos. Why? Not sure if it's on his side or my side. Yeah. Makes sense. The segments. Seems there's been some changes because I don't have the same settings he has. That sucks. Yeah, he has a section called Deformed Landscape to Spline. I don't have that. Am I missing something? Don't like that. There's nothing on this side? No. I'm gonna have to look that up too. So let's see for now. Okay, let's try that. Let's try, first of all, to see if we can get it to adjust. So I'm just going to grab a segment. Like so, move you up. And of course, you can see straight away, we don't get the deformation there. Select segments. It's not that. That might be a problem. If it's on different levels, will Unreal automatically detect that and allow me to just move on, or do I need to do something else to kind of have Unreal understand that I do want to have the mesh follow through, or the spine go through all my levels? That's a good question. For now, though, let's see if I can't close the spine. Let's see, Unreal, close landscape, spline. Select the last control point and alt click back into the first. That is not intuitive at all. Because that is not how you do it for other spines, but fair enough. So I believe the last one, that's the first. What we click? Is that the first or last? Select the previous. So that is likely the last because we can only select the first there. Next will be alt click back onto the first point. No, that did not work. So look at this tutorial then. Let's increase the speed. All right. I need to activate some kind of plugin. I don't see the same. This is from 2 years ago. Yeah, that's not going to help me at all. How about we go to Unreal's official page and see what they have to say. Control left click. Again to create splines. Yeah. Why is that? Okay, so we got those. Let's bring this in here so we can read it all together. That's fun, right? Right. Split. So split the spline. Control left click on the segment. That makes sense. In addition, control alt left click. You can also alt left middle button, right? Split. Okay. Enable auto rotate control point after you release the cursor. The split auto rotates to maintain smooth spline. That's fair. Enable auto rotate always forward. You release the cursor. The spline point auto rotates in a forward direction to maintain a consistent orientation. Right. That music is going. Awesome. Next, in content, find and select the spline mesh asset that you want to use with your spline. That's not what I want. Spline. Maybe this is the one. Landscape splines do not affect the height until a spline edit layer is added. It layer stack. Okay. I think that makes sense. I think that makes a ton of sense. What we want to do. Good. I think we can add. And what is this? Enable. Did that do anything though? Or did I miss a step? Erased one of these points. Which one was it? I'm going to have to go all the way around. I have to. And we... Oh, there you go. So it is adjusting that. Perfect. First, a bit more information, so let's read the rest. It automatically react. And that automatically reacts to changing the landscape spline. Fair enough. Was raised or lowered. Bit plane with smooth cool sign blend fall off. Okay. with the follow-off properties of the spline control points. And the raise lower terrain option on the individual spline segments. Okay. Any special name property, fair enough, leave. Traverse the spline. Help navigate, select continuous spline graph based. Select controls of 2 modes. That is this part. What was it again? Switch selected points to segments if I do that. Okay, so okay. I think I know what that is doing. Or am I? If I do this and then click that. I don't seem to be able to move it because the Gispa doesn't show up, so I'm assuming I can't really do anything about that. Okay, goes next segment. There's something else I need to know about this. Retro texture. Spline meshes, I'm assuming that's what we looked at earlier, which is adding some kind of spline that follows. No, sorry, no, some mesh, not the spline. A mesh that follows the spline around. What I can't find so far is how to close. See if there's something else. Usually it's called loop, if I'm not mistaken. It's nothing. How about close? Nothing. Connection. Setting specific to controls attached to the segment. Okay. Equipment properties, landscape, spline mesh. Does it tell me? Well, it's actually not telling me anything, which in turn makes me think you can't connect them. Does that make sense? Well, I can join 2 splines. Select one spline, then control left click the other. Am I just missing something? Well, according to Google, the previous idea was to select this one, which I believe is the last. Yeah. And then control. I certainly know that one. That's not correct either. Oh, I'm pretty sure I did that earlier. But fair. For now, let's also go back to landscape mode and hide the forest. That's the one. Let's go through the rest of the tutorial because I need to figure out whether or not I can have. Does the PCG need to be manually updated once you've added the deformation to the terrain? As you might have noticed, if we go back, look at this area, which is the area raised. No, actually, no, I take that back. It did update automatically, so perfect. That is actually really awesome. So let's see what the rest of the tutorial is telling us. Yeah, right now he's just talking about adding static meshes. I don't think we need that. Right? I believe we don't. Unless he might be setting up a blueprint or some kind of merged asset that we can then use in a PCG. We'll see. speed it up a bit. Yeah, it just added to the mesh and that deformed the asset around the mesh. Yeah. It's not what we are after right now. Let's see. Right. Just show him how to create a new spline. Because his goal is to create assets that moves on the side of a road, like light posts and sidewalk, things like that. That's not what we want. Just gonna move past this. Yeah, he's just adding that together. So now he's creating one single static mesh to with roads and sidewalk at in the same assets. Unnecessary for us again. Nothing I would like to know about. I'm more curious. So I believe I know what we're going to do next. And that is, first of all, we need to give our spline a tag so that we can find it inside a PCG graph. I'm not sure if I should continue in the same graph or if I should create a new one. For now, I think I'm going to keep it to the same graph that I've used for the trees. I don't see any issues with that at this point. Might be in the future. We could potentially just create a sub graph. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I believe it's called a sub graph, which is kind of like a material instance, if you're familiar with that, or in the blueprint it will be a function. They work roughly the same, where you input something and you spit out something, or just have it create something from nothing, or something you've kind of gathered inside the subtool. You don't input something from outside, you just have it, hey, do this inside this subtool. That spit out whatever it is we want to create on the other side. So no input, only output. You can go with either one. PCG graph. Class. Okay, so I was mistaken. We're not going to use tag. Instead, we're going to sample or reference the landscape itself. And in the landscape, there seem to be... Am I correct about this? Alright, okay. Yeah, I'll teach you just to go through it. So, for now... How about we do this? I'll click on... I get to the spline. Or do I need to go to the landscape tool again? It looks like I need to go to the landscape tool. So if I do this... Okay, so I need to use this window to have this work. Okay, nice. Honestly, let's just do this. Select them all. Right. Then just move it up. For now, we're just going to test this out, so just need something. And it does remind me that I do need to reference the spline inside my current graph, because I need to tell it that everything along this spline, remove the trees and everything like that. And also, as the trees point in the right direction, they are. Actually, I kind of want to do some random stuff. Can I get a hold of just single spline? No? No point. There you go. Just do some random stuff. Where are you? Grab this one. Move you up. Okay. Oh, there you go. It just took a second. Okay, far with that one. Perfect. Let's see what this looks like. Nothing crashes. Can't edit in pipe. Fair enough. And I'm hella slow. I can kind of see in the distance what the terrain will look like. But that's nice. I also need to figure out a way for me to kind of deform the terrain, like in random bumps and lumps, if you want to call them that. Okay. Wait. Thought for a second that there was a tree sticking out of another tree. Weird. I could probably, yeah, I send this. Right. Not 100% sure if I like this look. I'd like it to be more an even gradient. There might be ways for me to manage that somehow. We do this. No, let's go back to this tool. Back up. What if I'm just gonna select this part? All points. There's a side fall off. Okay, there you go. Straight away, we do have more even fall off. Perfect. I also halfway point. What does that mean? Halfway point, half width the spline at this. What does that mean? We do 500. So did that give me? It's just. What if we do that? I can't do 0. Okay, no, I can't. And that kind of looks like exactly what I wanted, that gradient. Okay. And I could probably go to each point and do the same thing, or for each segment, so you can get variation in width. Okay, I like that. Layer width ratio. Do that, and then nothing. What if we do this? All right, so let's just keep that 1. Left side. Okay, so I can change depending on which side. I do like that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, left side will be in towards the center for now. I don't think we need to adjust those. I'm just going to experiment a bit, but in the future, I'd like the spline to be able to just be placed down, and no matter which direction I kind of place my points, counterclockwise or clockwise, it should be the same on both sides, so it shouldn't matter. But let's just try an experiment. Can I do that? Oh, there you go. So I can make a sheer cliff on one side. Honestly, no. I was about to say that is a good idea. Mainly because if I place cliffs on this side, I won't have any intersection, but I do want some intersection, so. Alright, I could do that. It's good to know. What else? Left side, layer fall off vector. I have no idea what that means. And why isn't it coming back? Hello? Did I break something? Now it's all gone. Okay. There we go. So 0.5, 1. There we go. We're back. So let's see what this does. What if I do that? Nothing obvious. So it might be something else. Yeah. Just gonna leave that as is. End fall off. What does that mean? Oh, is that the fall off at the end of the spline itself, which is now a circle, so a loop. So we don't really need to do that. But mesh vertical offsets. Vertical offset of the spline segment mesh. What if we do 500 units down? Is that anything? Not that I can see, so let's just keep that as is. 0. Block all, sure. Well, is that the spline or select collision preset? We can set the title. Okay. Layer name. Name of blend layer to paint when applying spline to landscape if no layers is painted. Okay, need to look into that. Raised terrain, yes. Lower terrain, sure. Yeah, sure. Will I, if I create a new one, will that then create a new layer, or will it place in the same layer? Can I name the spline somehow? Or is that the point of this layer name? Where is my... Here we go. Let's do this, this. Let's do name. There we go. Okay, so that's the texture layer. I'm not sure if I follow. Either way, I don't think we need to worry about that right now. So instead, select mode. Let's launch this graph. Don't need this part. There we go. Right, so what we need to do. Should we make a subgraph? Or should I keep it as is? For now, let's just keep it subgraph. To get spline, I believe. Spline data. You're complaining because of a number of things. Either way, so actor filter. No, by class. Let's do landscape. There's multiple of them. Assume it's this one. And let's do, what's it called? It's not expose, it's extent, I believe. Extents modifier. There we go. Perhaps not. Should be. Right. Sorry, I need to do this first. Sampler. There we go. Subdivisions per segment on spline. Interior will be interesting, but no. Honestly, in the future, I might have to do a landscape data up here, which means I'm going to place a ton of stuff on the landscape. In the future, I might do something else instead, and that is I'll input the spline data from the landscape into this part, and then have an interior effect, the interior spline sampler. So instead of spawning trees all over the terrain, I would only spawn trees and shrubs and rocks and everything on the inside of the spline, which could save me some data points, or whatever you want to call it, some performance. Nope, sorry. Either way, that is for future me to decide. So now we're going to add an extent. We're going to do, let's do 10 all over. That is still not showing up. I'm not sure if I like that. It's because number of points. Let's do distance. Let's do every 100. Do every 500. What that? Nothing. Why? So I'm expecting our cubes along the spline. For some reason that is not showing up, and why is that? Let's see what he has to say. Hey, how you doing, Michelle? How you doing? Okay, so I might have to do a force regen. Doing good. Glad to hear. The force regen and nothing. Could be something else. Let's try that. Let's get this one. Do bound. Save force. Save all. I don't like that it's not showing up. I get any information. Shouldn't use this partition grid actor stuff right now. Why isn't this working? Distance. What am I missing? What about me? I'm doing great. Actually, I believe it's called Labor Day today here in Sweden. I'm assuming other countries have it too. But today is a full day off, and I actually took a PTO yesterday, so I've had 2 days off, just resting a bit. Now I kind of felt like I needed to at least get some progress done. Yeah, it's nice. As you grow older, I'm not trying to say I am old, although I do feel that sometimes. PTO and just days off, you appreciate them more. Something's going on the outside. Not sure if that came through. Probably not. But why? Why? Why isn't it showing? What am I missing? Respect your elders. Well, at least that's something. There's too many downsides of growing old. But if I get some respect, I'll accept that. So why is it that he gets... Did I miss something? Wait, did I not do all the settings on this one? So he just typed in landscape. Maybe I'm not using the right one. It should be. It should be this one. Right? Oh, wait. Oh. How about that? Yes. Now, right. Okay, so I'm looking for all world actors. Then I'm filtering by class, by landscape. There we go. That looks more correct. How about now? Of course. Save. Always save. Still nothing, though. God damn it. Why? What is it that I'm missing? Is it because of the world petition stuff? Oh, you bought Rain World. Alright. Assuming you got a chance to look it up too. How is it? No, I can't say I have. To be honest, although I do love games, I've been less new games for me lately. Been caught in old games, going back and forth between like Satisfactory. Been playing some Factorio, World of Warcraft, just going back and forth. Yeah, the vanilla classic stuff. Going entirely blind, that's probably the best way to do it in most cases. In some cases, I do like to kind of do some research. But most of the time, just going blind is just kind of the way to do it. God damn, why isn't it showing? This is kind of annoying. Am I missing something? Oh, could it be... Wait, that is not 10 meters, is it? That is just 10 centimeters, right? So if I do 1,000, what then? What then, are real? How about that? Still nothing. Awesome. God damn. What am I missing? Should I go into... No, it's not game mode stuff. Is it... Because I've... Look good landscape again. Click this guy. Select all. Or if we make you a single unit width or 100. Nope. Okay. Oh, wait. I might have made a mistake here. I need the PCG world to show. That might be the case. Or not. What if I make you insane? Let's do it on times 10. That's probably not what I'm looking for, but hey, who knows? Is there anything underneath? Anything hiding from me? Nothing. I did make it unbound, didn't I? Yeah, so it should show up even outside of the volume. So what is wrong? What is wrong? Right now I'm trying to get into Unity to let me lerp between some colors. Well, lerp is nice. That's a nice, cool tool. Really useful if you haven't used that before. Awesome. So why isn't it working for you? I'm pretty sure I've done some Unity stuff and lerp before. Are you using like shading code to do it, or do you use the visual stuff? Oh, we got some ad break. Yeah. So to let everyone on YouTube side, just so you guys know, I'm also streaming to Twitch. Every like 45 minutes or so, we do have roughly like 2.5 minutes ads. During that time, I tend to kind of just stop for a minute or so. Slowing down. Just don't want people to miss anything if they're interested in what's going on. There we go. Twitch ads are done. Welcome back. Still struggling with this guy. Not sure why. So I've done this. That should be all. It's not giving me any errors, but the colors are not changing and it's confusing me. That's fair. I've been there. So I'm assuming then, since you aren't getting any errors, I'm assuming you're using shading code, right? And are you trying to animate it? Is that what you're trying to do? Or is it just a static change between two colors? So. Just normal code. Okay. Have you made it as simple as you can just to kind of do some debugging? And also, have you clamped your mask, your, what do you call it, the alpha swap? Because sometimes if you go above 1, I'm assuming you might run into some issues. Just doing linear math to LARP thing. Okay. God damn. Yeah. Made it very simple. Yeah, the alpha is clamped. Okay. And I'm assuming then the A and B input, which I'm hoping that is the usual way to call those inputs, like the input 1 or 2. Yeah, 1 and 2. Have you made sure that they are vectors and not like vector 3s and not 2s and 1s? Or that is no vector 1 or is vectors always 3s? No. No, right? It's 2, 3, and 4 vectors. Maybe you need to do a 4 vector in the A and B. Yes, with a question mark. So I'm assuming if you're not using a vector 3, which is a like red, green, and blue, or X, Y, and Z, the alpha or the linear math might not recognize the values, or it goes to some kind of default value. The alpha can be a float or an integer. Well, I'm assuming you want a float. But then again, I'm kind of guessing right now based on like material stuff I've done in Unreal. Let's see. Oh, wait, are you? Yeah, you were trying to do colors, right? Yeah, you were. So there is some kind of material blurb. Yeah, you need to start. Wait. Are you trying to animate between them, or sorry, you did answer that, didn't you? So I get a feeling that there might be different ways, different types blurps. You figured it out? Awesome. Awesome. Then let's see if I can figure out my issue. Why aren't these showing up? Or is this something else? Oh, you had lerped 1 instead of 0. Yep, there you go. There you go. So, yeah, if you do 1, I believe it's the secondary input that will show, which would in this case be either end, 2, or B. Yeah, exactly. If you start at 1, yeah, you're at the end straight away. Yep, there you go. Still. Goddamn. Why isn't it showing? How about this? Let's just use subdiv for now. Because that makes a change. Just now. What I'm worried about is that I'm using petitions. That might be what's messing things up. So I'm not sure how petitions work, to be honest. Oh, God damn. What else do I what else do I do? It is a debug. It's freaking huge. Let's actually lower that back to 1,000. Let's do. Wait. What if we do that instead? Does that make a change? No. It does. And I can't do that. It's great. Let's increase the volume on the music, by the way. On my side, I'm assuming it's kind of alright on stream side. So why is it? Why is it? Something hiding from me? No. So he does all world actors. I've done that. He does by class. He's choosing landscape, right? Yeah. Unless... So I am doing exactly what he's saying. should give you background? Sure. I'm curious. How about we do this? I think I might have to have that active, so I'm just going to turn these off for now. There we go. You're trying to make a demo. You've done quite a lot of those recently. Which is awesome, by the way. Where you're a tiny blind creature and you can only see, in quotation marks, through sound or smells. Ooh. And it's meant to be a kind of survival game. Okay. Cool. Dude, that kind of reminds me, what is the name of that game? So I believe it was or is a horror game. And the way you interact with the world is through a LiDAR laser, I believe. See if I can find it. That game with LiDAR scanner? Is that the one I'm looking for? Is it the Voidness? It's not the Voidness. Could be Scanner Somber. Find good video of it. Can I do that? I can't. It's 9 years old by now. That's insane. But yeah, so it did remind me of this. Let's see if we can get this up on screen. What if I do... Alright, I can just do this. So this is pretty cool. How they kind of use scanners to kind of throw out these dots that get stuck to the ground. Oh, you remember this? Yeah, yeah. That was the first thing that kind of came to mind when you were mentioning, like, you're finding your surroundings by being blind, but you're using a secondary sense or something to find it. Perhaps something that can inspire you to, like, I don't know. I don't know. Sure. How would you do sound? Would you do it like you see it for a moment and then it disappears? Or would you do like they do in here, which I believe it's a permanent scan? So you will always see it. I'm not sure if it disappears over time. Not sure if we can see it. And also, I think the closer you are to something, the redder it is. So it's red, yellow, green, blue. Blue? Yeah. I think this is an amazing concept. Is there something on this thing? What if we do landscape again? Blueprints. Spline actor. Ooh, is it because I was... They might have done a change from the tutorial I'm looking at compared to 5.7. There might be... When is this from? It's almost a year ago, so chances are, assuming this works now... Come on. Please. Can't you just work? Okay, so you're leaving a scent trail behind that you can follow if you get lost. Cool. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I look forward to it. To see what you can do, because I did try your I'm not sure what you call the game again, but the I'm losing the name of it. The automation resource gathering demo you did. I think you did it in a week, or you had a version though, at least that was a week old. I think I tried that one. That was cool. It worked quite well. Of course, 1 week, there's things you need to, yeah, Star Scraper, I believe that's the one. I mean, if that is your week work, then it was absolutely stunning. Do you like it? Yeah. I think there's some things in it that you can definitely build on. For week worth, absolutely great. For a game, you're gonna need a bit more work on it. But again, week work, it's amazing. Keep it up. I mean, honestly, if you said a week, I kind of don't believe you. In part of me doesn't believe you because it was a lot of stuff you did. You might have, I don't know, maybe just that good. There's a lot of good stuff on it. Oh, that reminds me. I should link this video. So if anyone else is curious to how you would set up the landscape thing I'm doing right now, the video I'm working on is slightly old, but there's just go to the documentation to add the extra stuff to it. But for now, I'm just going to pin. First of all, let's start with Twitch. So this is the video I'm working with. Do that. Go back. Here we go. YouTube is being weird. Is that new? I don't think it is. And for everyone on YouTube side, if you're curious, this is the link to the video. So I highly recommend this guy, by the way. He's done amazing videos in the past, and I'm sure he's going to do a lot more going forward. I think he released something like at the beginning of this week or last week. A lot of PCG procedural stuff, large terrain and environments. So if you're curious about that, highly recommend this guy. I think it's called, I might pronounce this wrong, Aziel Arts. Yeah, that's what we call it. So highly recommend. And let's see. I want this to work. Why aren't you working? How about we try something else? What if I do this? Static mesh spawner. What if we do that? Have force. Nothing. God. Is it well partitioning? That's the issue. Sucks if that's the case. Because, to be honest, I've never dug into world partitioning before. I'm not sure why I'm using it, to be honest. I'm not sure. Let's go. Landscape again. Let's try this. Turn that off. Force. Nothing. Why? Should I launch? How about I launch a separate environment or separate I'm losing it. Level. I try the same thing on Babylon. There, I do have another level. We might try that. So let's go to favorites. Let's try this one. I don't believe I have. I do have more petitions here too. Is that the issue? Is the issue the grid size stuff? What if we try... What if we use this guy? Instead of spline data, I could do this. Let's do a class. Let's do that, not component. Splines component? What if we do that instead? Right, it needs a surface sample. That's not what I want. I'm just pretty sure this is the way we're going. Tag PCG. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Last landscape. It's meant to take place in a old abandoned facility cave kind of place. Cool. Yeah. That's a perfect place to start. I can also see it working in a forest or where else? I mean, old factory, a facility, cave. Dude, that works perfectly fine. What else? Where else could a like a not supersonic? What do you call it? The way bats communicate or interact with the world, which is it's not subsonic. It's not autosonic. What is it? It's sonic something, right? God damn. All right. Echo. So it's not sonic. Yeah, you're right. Echolocation. There you go. Thanks. I was way off. You made some cool pixel art for it last night. Pixel art is very relaxing. Dude, I love to find something that kind of just takes your brain out of it or your mind. Just I don't know, just relaxing. I love that. And if art is amazing with them. Everybody's supersonic racing. Absolutely, everybody is. This is not what I wanted. Okay, so let's go back to the other level. But apparently, I don't think this is going to work. Nope, don't need to save. Should probably learn what these things kind of are. And I kind of... Can I do something that helps me view this differently? Because this is, as you can tell, might not be able to see this on YouTube Short, but I'm looking at a list of probably, I don't know, a few hundreds, or maybe 200 at least, objects. I'm trying to figure out whether or not one of these will help me show whatever it is I'm trying to see. You're looking at it too, like super or echolocation stuff, or yeah. Let's go with that. Should we try and move this to a sub? What is it? A subgraph? What if we do that? Let's do this. Did I create that again? I need to create a new PCG. Oh, I might have to, right? I do this. PCG exclusive zone forest path. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So what if we do this? Landscape. It's called landscape spline. Let's just, yeah, spline. Landscape spline. Let's call it that. Do PCG. Let's do a graph. Yeah, empty graph. Really fine. PCG landscape line. Nope, not spell. Oh, the list of 200 to 200. Yeah, it's. You know, I should probably spend like 5 minutes trying to figure out how that actually works. But I want to try something else before we do that. So here's my idea. If I do this, and I also do... Can I turn off input? I don't need input. How do I turn off input? Do I just delete this thing? Or do I kind of just do this? Let's go back to forest. Let's do escape spline. Get that. So let's do the output. I do have an output, but it's not showing. And the reason why that is not showing is, let's go back to this guy. I need to connect this guy. So let's just do this. So there is a downside to this. And that is, I'm not sure if I can do multiple outputs. Probably could. We'll have to see. So if we go back to this guy. I do that. Still nothing. And I still get the ward position and stuff. Yeah. I was kind of hoping clean things up a bit. I'm guessing that's not going to work. Filter. What if I turn these off? Okay, then I get that. That's something. Let's grab these again. Turn this off. Some cleanup later on. And let's debug this guy. Still nothing. You want to look very retro. That's cool. So it's all monochrome green. Nice. Plus you can't see colors with echolocation, so it's scientifically accurate. Okay. So the way you would then, when you say monochrome green, you're like thinking matrix green type of thing. So if you then use your echolocation, you will get more of those visible objects in front of you in that color scheme. Is that how it works? All right, cool, cool. Why is that I only see this guy? I'm hella confused right now. PCG subgraph, that's this guy. And that's the forest. Oh, okay, so it's showing me that because, okay, I think I know why. Because it is part of, it's a child to the forests. That makes sense, okay. But what I'm not understanding is why I can't see any attributes. Why am I missing those? I need those attributes somehow. Why aren't they showing? No pins, no data available, profile and finding. This makes no sense to me. Right? Child of the Forest sounds like some kind of anime title. Yep, absolutely does. What if I'm just going to turn everything off? This is now only landscape. If I do this, that's not going to help. So let's just turn on these, that. So that works, apparently. But I still can't see the attributes. Alright, so something is off. Let's see, Unreal, PCG, let's search for attributes not shown. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, of course. Yes, yes. Of course. I understand. I got it. I completely forgot. In order to see an attribute or these attributes values, you first need to make sure attribute or that node is enabled, and you do that through clicking A. Yeah. There you go. That makes sense. That makes sense. Let's enable all these things again. Back. Let's not enable you. Let's enable these. And press A. So now we can see that no data is actually getting in here. So let's try landscape. Spline actor? Will that give me data? No. So somehow I'm not getting the data. Why? The Unreal 5.7. Get landscape. Spline data. PCG. See if we can get that. This is from 2023. That's not gonna help. Where is it? Is it more related to... yeah, that is a spline. It's not locked. Not visible. What am I missing? So looking in my outliner, all I can see, if we go back to the select mode, that in landscape, there's nothing connected to it. Which I assumed. Or do I need to kind of apply or somehow? No, it shouldn't have to apply because it is working. If I move around, it is giving me... So why isn't it allowing me to grab the splines? All more actors. Most overlap. You know, it could be... Is there a way to tell it to include children? Oh. Wait. I'm making a space. I think I know what it is. Hopefully. Need to double check. This is this guy? Is it this guy? No. No, wait. Need to adjust this. Nope. Nope, it wasn't that. Should I try by tag then? Okay, this is from last year. Well, this guy is doing it through tags. Is that what I want to do? Or is it this part? If I do this... Well, as you can see, nothing's happening. Selection class. Patch component texture spline. I assumed it was, but it doesn't seem like I'm getting spline components. Yeah, look, it's just nothing there. Which I kind of hoped this guy would work. Oh, wait. Did I just make a mistake for not selecting this part? Is that the thing I'm looking at? Oh, don't tell me it's that simple. It looks like it's that simple. Oh, okay. So, if I'm correct, we've made progress. 18. Is it really 18 dots of points? What if we do that? How many? Can I see how many there are? Okay. Plus points, data, no data. Fair enough. Points, output, input, spline. What am I looking at? Wish there was some more information, but it does look so. Output. So I'm assuming what I'm looking at. We do this, then I get more points. That's fair. So up until that point, we're actually getting input or data. Where's my extents? Doesn't seem like do I not have extents? I do that. But I'm adding. What if we do this? Then I'm setting. Yeah, that's fair. This is annoying. Oh. Oh. I think I got it. I think I got it. Awesome. 10, 10, 10. And there we go. All right. That looks terrible, but we're getting somewhere. So if I then do... let's turn that off, turn you on. Sorry, not that one. We don't need this anymore, that anymore. Let's turn that off. Let's go and sample buttes. So now they're gone again. The reason for some... Why is this happening? I feel like all I'm doing is just like, why? What? All the time. How about we add you back? What if I do that? This is still giving me... How about we do this? Okay, so there we go. We needed to add... I thought I could use the PCG cube down here, but that is in debug mode. That's fair. That's fair. So let's use the hierarchical for now. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. Let's do the... there was a PCG bowler, right? Should we try that one? Oh, everything went dark because we're lowing in this computer. Holy shit. Go down to ones. To save, I'm also going to do a lot more samples. That's less samples. Or rather the other, no, it's actually more samples. Right. Why are we doing this? Scale X is horrendously large. Is that the same over here? Why is scale that big? Okay. How do I change that? It's attribution remap. Make transfer attribute select. No. Is there an attribute set? Can I do that? Set. What about that? No, that's not the one I want. Or is it? Wait, sorry. Are there more than... I do some options. Set, sign, frac. Okay. Do that. That. Where am I scale? There we go. Perfect. So that means we're actually on the right track, because now we can see as I follow along this spline, we see these guys. Perfect. Awesome. But that's not the end of it. We need to do more stuff. How should we do that? How about we do this? For now, let's remove this guy. Input this. And let's see, all my extents. Where are you? They're gone. Why? And remove this guy. Oh, there we go. Why I had to click. Great. And I'm going to increase to every 1500 instead. Let's do every 1000. So the goal right now is to kind of make sure they are more or less meeting. They probably had work to do. Could be. And the next, well, I'm not sure is why it's so flat, but I don't know. Let's see. It could be scale. Maybe I should have scale set as... Trying to figure out which way is best to do this. Let's just remap. Could probably use that. Attribute, select. I mean, set is probably the best option I have. Let's go with... you know what? Let's just go with set. 5 minutes till next break. Can I do anything else? Input source 1. Let's do scale. Let's do these. Let's for now set them to 1. And they're tiny. Really tiny. That's fine. That's what we want to do. So the reason I'm doing this is that I want to be able to control scale of these points, either through the set or the extents modifier. And I'm thinking the extents modifier is probably the best choice. So we're going to do this. I'm going to keep an eye on that small thing over there. And let's see. So one extent or unit is likely a centimeter. And I believe the top of this spline, I'm pretty sure I'll set it to a full meter. So let's try to full meter. That is in the x-axis, which is in the line of, or in the direction of the spline. So let's do 100 on this axis. There you go. So we now know that the width of our spline is 100 units, centimeters. Can I also do this? Love to see it grow up. There you go. Perfect. That's what I want. I'm also going to increase this guy to 500. Right, so I'm just going to dock that. So now we have a ring going all the way around. Perfect. Well, I'm assuming it's going to be useful in a second. I'm going to clean this part up. I do believe I can do this. Reroute. Let's do that. Can I rename it? Can. Let's call it exclusion points. And we're going to move all of this into this guy, which did not help. There we go. Something broke. Let's try that one more time. Is it shift? It might be shift. It was shift, but it's not what I expected. There we go. Drag this up. Oh, you know, I can do this. I'm going to put this just right there. I'm going to name exclusion points. Let's do it this way instead. There we go. I'm not super happy with... I understand that compared to like a material where you can often or always, I believe it's always, only have one connection to a single input. Now you can have multiple. Sure. I see why it's like that. Sometimes I kind of wish it wasn't. But that is not a big issue. Let's do turn that off. Put this guy. So now it's more clean. Let's see if it worked. Wait, I did turn. Nope, they are on. Nothing has changed, so it is working. Perfect. We're going to do the same with this guy. Let's see, let's call landscape data. There we go. That means this guy is now called landscape data. Awesome. Let's do this. We keep them together. Awesome. We'll got ads in like a minute or so. And when that happens, I'm going to do another stretch because my legs are starting to feel slightly aching. What are you? What are these? This is spline. Path spline. Alright, fair enough. Do that. Let's do another reroute. These over to this part. Turn it off, off. And just to make sure it's fine. These are now still missing. You can see we don't have any trees or stone on top of the path. Perfect. Let's rename this to path points. I believe it's probably the best way. Best naming convention. Path point. Is it points or points? Points. I want to name it. Keep the name similar to exclusion points over there. Perfect. So let's do path. Not pathfinding. Path points. Going to difference. Copy. Turn that off. Go. So now we have these as separate stuff. Awesome. I mean, honestly, what we could probably have done is just add the subgraph in this area and then connect it to these two. Probably been the better way to do it. Now that I think about it, because it will be in the same spot. But then again, I probably have to redirect that somehow. Do I need a third point? I think I do. All right. Oh, I'm just gonna move this. Let's do it this way instead. So, and so. There we go. It's not super clean, but it is working. There we go. So the idea with this graph is eventually to swap out all the... Well, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, on Twitch side too, welcome back. So we want to switch out the static meshes that are spawned by these static mesh spawners. We're going to add, for example, different versions of trees. These, we're going to do some changes, make sure that they are spawning the right type. Probably don't want them to be movable. Might make them movable depending on a few things. For example, I mean, so the idea is that you will be walking through this forest in very dark environments. So movements might not be necessarily like moving branches and things like that, because you will not be able to see more than a few meters in front of you. Maybe give or take 5-6 meters. That is the idea, at least. So if we need a movable object, perhaps not. Very likely not. So I might swap those to static at some point, or I will likely do it. There's other things we can do. We can turn off, generate overlap events. Probably not gonna use that. Cast shadows, sure, we do need that, but there's a ton of stuff we can do to tell it to just like, nope, you're not doing these things. So we'll see. But that is in the future. For now, I just kind of want the basics down as it is right now. We are quite, I mean, we're making progress. So all I need now is to exclude everything from the top of this hill. I'm also going to look into how I can exclude from slopes. I can't remember how right now. I believe there is something called slope node in PCG. But we'll take one step at a time. And why are you... I'm not sure why I'm getting an error on this one. Oh well, it's working. So what we're going to do is this guy. We're going to make this into a subgraph. Second. Which means I need to have this moved out of the way. Grab these. Go to the path. Already have this. Let's just do this. Ooh. That is a exposed. Right. So let's move that to the side too. Let's go to input. Should I make this separate one or just as is? Let's try it. Let's try keeping it in the graph now. So I'm gonna input, make sure we have correct in. Use as normal, I assume, yeah. Spatial. Where are you? Concrete. Click. And let's make you concrete. Oh, that includes all of them. Fair enough. Yes. No. Not multiple. Let's make this required. Let's add another. Let's call this landscape data. Let's call the new pin extent size, usage, normal, allowed type. What are you outputting? Type attribute set. Is that what I'm going for? No. Required. Let's go back to this guy. Let's create a subgraph. Let's call it PCG. We're not going to call it anything. We're just going to grab this part. And we need to input this and this. So now you're working, at least partially. I then need to go to output. This could be removed. Let's do that. One out. Remove. Extent. Landscape. Q. All right, so what we're doing is we're grabbing a spline data. We're grabbing a spline called or tagged PCG path spline. We're sampling that. We're increasing or expanding. Not sure what we're doing. We are expanding the extent of the points on the spline. And we're grabbing the landscape data or inputting it into a projection. So all the points are projected down onto the landscape. And then we are setting density and outputting that. If I go back to this guy and I do this. What are you converting? Any to spatial. That's what I want. If I do that. Okay, so that works. Okay. Just make sure I clean this up as much as possible. What if we do that? If I do that, do I need to do that conversion? Don't. Okay, fair enough. Alright. Accept that. There we go. Cleaned up. Let's move this over there. Oh, not like that. So, let's see if it still works. Yep. Still working. Turn that off. So what are we trying to do now? Wait. Have I... Can I also do this? Is that allowed? Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it is allowed. Oh, sorry, exclusion zone is the one in the middle. So if I grab this guy. It's a bit slow. I'm not sure if I like that. Is it because of this part that I'm combining these? I don't think that is. I think it has to do with doing this part. It is a bit slow. It's not the entire world though. Not that bad. Oh, I know what it is. It's probably because I don't have real time. There you go. Yeah, that's the thing. Perfect. So now that we got to that point, let's remove these. And let's also move these. So what I want to do is I want to do this difference earlier on. We're going to make a subgraph of these at some point, but for now, I'm just going to make sure it actually works. So what I'm hoping is going to happen now is that everything that touches the tip at the very top of the landscape, the terrain that we deformed, right here, nothing spawns on top of this. Which, I mean, it's not. But that doesn't mean anything for now. So what we want to do... can I do this? Can I create a parameter by right-clicking? I don't... It doesn't look like I can. Re-extent size. I don't have that. Yeah, I do. It's over there. So... we're going to expose this. Can I do this instead, maybe? No, I cannot. Alright, then we're going to do this. We're going to find a vector. For now, make it the same as this guy. So here's a tip. You're a real user and didn't know about this. This is one of my favorite tips, favorite things to use as a tool. You can shift right-click a variable or a data point or transform, whatever you want to call it, and you can duplicate it by then shift-clicking. So I do a right-click on extents up here, and I shift right-click, then shift left-click where I want to paste that value, and that should work. I'm not sure what to call this though. What the hell? What should I call it? Path extent size. Let's call it spline extent size. It's so wrong. And it's autosave in the middle of me spelling. Thank you. Damn it. Rename. Let's do it that way. Can I do it? Get extent spline size. Put that into extent. Let's do this. Force. So I should have it here now. There you go. Perfect. And let's do double. It's working perfectly. Hopefully everyone saw, or it was visible, when I increased the size of this guy, the trees start to disappear. So let's do, you know what, let's do 500. And let's turn off debugging. Let's hide everything else. So hopefully while I'm going around this guy, nothing is spawning on top. Just noticing we could probably increase the size even more. You know what? Let's go nuts. Let's do 800. Yep, that works. So next step would be spawn something on this. Trying to think whether or not I want to, or how I want to do this. So the idea is that on the inside, you want to add larger cliffs or rock assets. Do I have any assets on hand that we can call rock? Do we have PCG rock? I'm assuming that it's not really. That's just a material. Static assets, nothing. But stone, I don't have that, so it's very clean. Do you have boulder? But that's such a small one, so I would need to add a temporary, maybe not extent, but definitely like scale thing. Should I want to do that? It's nanite. Doesn't matter. You know what? Let's just try it with that. So, I want to add a new set. I could. Not from this point. I do believe I need to separate these. So this is purely to clean up all the scale values that comes from this guy. That seems to be... No, so if I do this, yeah, you can see I wanted the scale to be on ones, which is easier to work with. That is what this guy's doing. Right. Good. Attributes, you can see it's all ones. Perfect. Let's do another attribute something. No. No. Select no. I don't want to copy. Yet make transform attribute. Can I not just have like a modify attribute? Doesn't need to be the set attribute. Looks like it needs to be the set as far as I can tell. Yep, alright. Let's get that. Let's do a set. Can I make vector attribute? I want to be a vec. Regular vec. Kind of confusing, isn't it? Vec2, which is two channels on the vector. That's, yeah, two vectors, two channels. Vec4 makes sense. But Vec3, just called vector. Kind of confusing. Unless you were aware of it, then yeah. If you're not, then yeah. How about this? Can I just hard code values into this? How about 500? No, let's do, for now, let's do 5. 5, 4, 10. Do that. Do this. Go to set. It doesn't like that. Input to no 1 point scale. You didn't like that. Why not? Is it because of this? It's because of that. Okay. What if I make... You do that, I'll see in a bit. Input source. I mean, output vector, yeah. You don't like that because why? Why aren't you liking that? Can I see a reason why? I cannot. So I'm assuming. Value? No. I can't assume that I could just add. If I do this, go to this guy. I have one. It doesn't like that. I do a float. It's cost. I do that. Are you part of this guy now? No, you're not. Is this how I need to do it? Or is there another way? I feel this is really not necessary. It would be nice if I could just kind of type in the values directly in here. Or maybe I could. Did I miss something? No. So that works, okay. Then probably what I should do is this. Can I do... Is there a way to not make it... can I make it private somehow? Or do I need to have it... Yeah, for now. I think this is just cleaner, so let's just keep doing that. So this will be, let's call it boulder size. And again, 5 for 10. Kind of arbitrary numbers, but we'll see if that works. See if I look at the attribute of this guy, and you'll say 5 for 10. Perfect. Then static mesh spawner. We're gonna go to mesh entries, scriptor. Let's make it hierarchical. It's called boulder. Boulder 2. And that should be it. Save, force, region, yeah. Kinda what I'm going for. Kinda. How about we do this just quickly? What if we, for now, go back? What if instead of doing that, forest, boulder, how about we just make all of them 5s instead? And we're also going to you know, I just thought of something. There is this node called transform points. And instead of doing this dumb set thing right there, how about we just kind of make the scale right there instead? Yeah. do fauna. That's the minimum 4.5. Maximum 5.5. Turn this off. And if we go back, there we go. Next, we're also going to move this guy. And we're going to move them in the Y direction. And I'm making a guess that we need to move them in the positive direction. So let's do 400. 500. Does that look? I was wrong. The other way. Let's do negative 500. Negative 700 instead. It's by no means perfect, but it's something. The question is, what I could do now, because what I'm noticing is they are floating, so I could either tell it to offset negative in Z, or I could use a projection similar to what we did in PCG path. That feels like it would be more expensive, although we're kind of fine when it comes to expense performance wise, because we're not making a big asset at this point, so we should be fine. But I am going to do this. Increase the size instead. Let's see what that makes. Yeah. Again, we're going to swap these out. Just need something like a placeholder right now. I did it. Awesome. That was quick. Or did time just fly by? Maybe both. What kind of particle were we working on? Offset negative 400. And then bare minimum of negative 200. There we go. You only need the very specific part. All right. Oh, rain. Cool. So we passed through it. Awesome. Didn't know that. All right. So yeah, the proof of concept idea. These needs to be humongous. So probably at least 5 times as tall. And maybe I should just go with that. Just go with it. I need to turn this off. What, 12, 15 instead? That seems to have done nothing. I do need to increase these two, so let's just do that. Okay. Not sure why it's not doing the... Wait, did I make a mistake? Oh, 12, 15. That should be it. How about we do that? Maybe I made it in the wrong direction. I think I did it in the wrong direction. Maybe not. You know, just go slightly nuts. We'll see if it makes a difference. It doesn't. Oh, there you go. At least my world is sealed in now. Nuts. 12, 15. All right, cool. That also reminds me. this part right there, that's a mistake. Or it can be improved. That's probably a better way to put it. So instead, we're going to remove this part. Add this part. We're going to remove that part. And let's do that. I don't know if that's needed. So my reasoning is this. I'm already adjusting the scale. The extent should, if I'm not mistaken, adjust. Or I'm already kind of overriding it. I can't remember. Oh, the bounds. What if do this? Okay, that's not going to work. So let's do that. So I want to see if we do it this way, that the trees do not... Yeah, we did have trees sticking out, or sticking into the rocks earlier, so this is perfect. What we're also going to do, let's make this more random. How far the negative X direction? Not far. 200 in each direction. This is left and right. Let's increase this part. Let's do negative 800 or 900 instead. And then this guy, let's increase this one to 700. This part I don't like. Do more? Probably could. That's not any means perfect. Again, it's just all about... Yeah, this kind of does look great, though. And now you can see, I mentioned this earlier, the spline, the landscape spline, could probably be used to spawn these things instead of what it's doing right now, because it's spawning outside. We don't want players on the outside, so we don't need things to be spawned on the outside. So what we're going to do is this part. Do I need to do that part? I'm going to assume I am. I'm also going to try something. Escape spline, turn this off, get this part. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to add it, this part. But the question is, can I do this? Can I do that? What if I do this? Can I? I can? But we're also going to pick you and on spline, on interior. That killed it. Awesome. Nothing. And why is that? Let's turn these off again. Oh, actually, let's turn these off. I kind of assumed this would work. Oh, I'm already doing that part. What if we do this? It doesn't like that. Why is that? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's not supported. Okay. That sucks, but we do have another idea we can try. So So let's add these back for now. Remove this part. Make sure everything's back as it should be. Okay. Have I completely destroyed things? No, I have not. There you go. All right. Plan B. And that is... so let's create new blueprint. The forest. Let's see what you have, by the way. Oh, that's just that part. Right, that makes sense because that is the PCG folder. So we need to go to this folder, go to forest. We need to open this one and the viewport. It does has a PCG component and it has a PCG gen source. Did I have that? I don't think I did. Next active. This is attached to act as a PCG runtime generation source. All right, fair enough. Add spline. So I'm gonna add a spline. We're also going to tell it to loop the spline point and close that off. There we go. It's probably quite small, but for now, let's see what it does. I'm also going to do this. I like to keep it clean. I'm going to temporarily add a cube. That is the center. We're going to go back to spline, select all, move them so we have that cube in the center. Almost in the center at least. Actually, I didn't need the cube now that I think about it. I've just done it this way. I'm just going to make it roughly round. That's fine. Compile. I'm going to go to PCG and force. Yes. And we're going to add this. It's already added. Right. Forest. Or should I make that? Should I add a tag to it? I probably should. Let's do a tag. Do that. And call this forest. Spline. Go. Save, compile, all of that. Then get spline. Data. Self. Yes, so it's going to find something inside its self, right? Or is it just... leave that thing. By tag and forest spline. I'm gonna check. No. All right. And do a sample. Spline sampler. Go to interior. I'm not sure if it's happy with this. Again. I need to do that. Right, I think I have to do that. No, what I need to do is this. Right. Then I need to do that. Let's do this. So I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. Or kinda know what I'm doing. So the issue is that I already have this PCG forest graph volume in the level when I should only use this BP forest, as you can see. That could be an issue. Where's my spline? Oh god. How should I do this part? Seems like I need to separate a few of these. Best landscape deformer. Wait, do I need this anymore? No. That's that guy. Okay, so honestly, it was a test from a previous session where I kind of had this thing deform the terrain using patches. So I was kind of scattering patches, landscape patches along the terrain surface, and that kind of deformed the surface based on a single texture mask. But that really went out of hand. So yeah, that part. So I don't need. I need to separate the ring, outside ring, the landscape line, and the forest. The forest and those two are going to be separate from now on. Yes. So I need to create a new blueprint. And we're going to call it something like outer ring as its own border, something like that. I guess could be. Let's call it zone border. And it's going to be. Well, it doesn't have to be blueprint, does it? Could be a PCG volume. Could be a PCG volume, to be honest. Could be this way. That's all it needs to be. Yeah. Try that. Let's try that. Let's hide you. Let's pause this and clean up. Let's also PCG clean up. There we go. I'm gonna drag and drop this guy. The center. I'm gonna launch this. I should be fine. What am I missing? Nothing. So we're back to this thing again. How did I? It's not correctly set up. There we go. So now it should look. Still doesn't. All right. Fair enough. You're fine. You're fine. I don't think I need that part. I'm pretty sure this should work. Oh, yeah, it is working. What I should do, though, is... So it is working, it's just not properly set up. There we go. We do that. Delete, you are set to... Actually, needs to remove that too. There we go. Wait, why is everything? Oh, like, wondering if I deleted a light or something, which is the exposure the next time. Awesome. Next step. Forest. Yes, we need the forest. And we then need to go to this guy. And we need to make an output. Let's do it this way. There we go. So output, you need to be something. I told it be any multiple. Don't really need multiple, so let's just do this. Input or a fine. And save, which should mean in this we do have that. Perfect. I'm putting this. I'm not sure if I want that. How about we do this? I'm also going to go back to this. Let's add another output. And we're going to call it extent concrete data. Okay. So extents concrete. No, we don't need to do required. Are you also concrete? Yeah. So that, you know what? Let's just make that concrete too. There we go. Let's do that. And in forest. Let's do this. And let's delete this entire thing. So with this, I now have a graph outputs purely forest assets, and it's making a difference by removing the exclusion zone where I'm going to build, eventually we'll build a house, a cabin, what do you want to call it, and then I have PCG path, same principle, where you walk, you don't want any trees, and then you have landscape spline, where there's landscape spline, where it is, you don't want a anything spawning. So that's great. You can be... No, actually, that is the exact thing I don't want to remove. Now the question is... If I do that... Oh, there you go. There it is. PCG generate... Wait, are we generating the outside too? Don't like that. You're still generating the ring. Why are we doing that? That shouldn't be the case. Well, yeah, no, it is the case because, well, no, never mind. Hierarchical, correct. can do that. That is still generating. Why? Clean up. Generate. Why are you... Is it because of this guy? That's not what I want. What if I'd grab these? Just want to test something. Do that. Clean up. Generate. Okay, so it's still taking that into account. I'm not sure if I like that, but okay. Still. I mean, yeah, so on itself, it could be this part. By tag. Spline. Forest. No. Did I not name it correctly? Oh. Right. That's not correct. Need to go to this part. Then I need to go to this guy. Do that. Still not correct. Now it's correct. Maybe I don't have to do that part. I don't have to because it's part of the spine. Oh, okay. Oh, part of the blueprint. I assume that is the case. Yep. No, it's not. I'm kind of confused on this part now. PCG Forest. This guy. That should be correct. Do, do, do. Why isn't it showing up? Hmm. Perhaps it's trying to execute, but can't. I was meant to stop it. All right. All right, perfect. Unreal seems to be crashing. Might be a sign, to be honest. We can give it a minute or so, see if we can get Unreal back. Doesn't look like we will, though. That's unfortunate. I might have just pushed the number of splines or number of points spawning just a tad much. Just a little bit. Can't seem to be... I cancel this somehow. Nope, cannot. Oh, there you go. It is canceling. Awesome. Or something. There we go. Now we got some more information that I wanted. So if I do that... do that. Then I'm getting in. Okay. So it is patching it. That's good to know. We're also going to do another thing in Spline. There is a way to adjust the look of the Spline. What was it called again? Remember. It's under advanced. Could just look at another one. Let's go to exclusion zone. Let's look this guy up. This, it's called Scale Visualization Width. Okay. Scale. Go. Let's do a full meter. Let's change the color. Unselected color should be bluish. Let's go with that. There we go. So as far as this go, okay, so is it working? Okay. If we do this, why is it spawning? Like so. What am I missing? That's still on top. I don't want that. What's going on? If I do that, compile, nothing. That's fair. I expected that. So if I do that again. Oh wait, closed loop. Compile. It's not working. So again, I'm missing something. What could that be? Could it be? Could it be? Um. Yeah. No, it's not that. It's that one. There we go. Eventually we got there. this. Let's do this. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but let's do that. Initialize these. We sample this guy. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, I need to turn that off. And it's on the lit? No. Lit perspective. There we go. But that should still spawn. Then why isn't it doing that? There we go. Progress. Progress. And I'm assuming I need to do this, that, and so. Let's also turn that off. So all my stones are spawning underneath. That's not good. Why is that? That could be because... Let's grab this. Yes, that's why. Okay, I know why now. Awesome. Progress. And this needs to be off. Off. Deleted. Deleted. Yo, Cobbler, how you doing? Sorry, the joke thing is off for now. I should have fix that. I've swapped over to a streaming PC. I have a dual setup, and everything is not working. Not everything is working. That's what I meant to say. How you been, by the way? As things started to settle down with you removing everything, work, all of that. How's that going for you? Now, this is not working because of long time no see. Yeah, exactly. Mostly my fault because I've been on a hiatus, like say 2 months, at least 60 days or something like that. Happily busy, the best type. Let's see, what else do I need to do? I probably need to do this. Ooh, now, can I? Diving deep into Unreal? Yeah, kind of. I really want the PCG system to work. So right now I'm kind of building up the base for it. As you can see right now, it's something of a mess. I just broke everything intentionally because I was spawning trees outside of this enclosure, and yeah, it's better now. Well, eventually it will be. Icarus, hello. Do you have a question? Fair enough. What is the easiest way to do multiplayer, Blueprint or C++? All right, the big guns. I'm gonna start with saying I am likely not the best guy to ask. And secondly, I would say it's probably based on your own experience, but I would probably look for better answers somewhere else. Unfortunately, I would love to tell you more and give you more, like, do this. My initial thought is it's likely C++. Blueprint might have a limit to it that can't really do, at least not an expanded version of C++. Maybe something. That's just my gut feeling. Sorry I couldn't give you better insights. I appreciate the question, though. Bedtime? Yeah, I appreciate you just jumping in, Cobbler, and I'm pretty sure I'm reaching my point too eventually. So have a good night, and I hope to see you again. I'll try to be live more often, especially now that I have a few days extra off from work. But yeah, see you around, Cobbler. Thank you for reminding me. I should probably grab something to drink. Oh, it's empty. Oh well. I'll live. Let's see. Alright, so the question was, can I get away with a single projection? Should, but I need to somehow tag this data point. Is that worth it, or should I just do the simple way and just... Yeah, good night, Cobbler. Should I... You know what? I can clean this up later on. So let's do this. Who knows? Projection might not be as expensive as I think it is. So how about this? And there we go. Everything's on the ground again. How far down, though? Far enough. But now we do have that issue. Why? Why is that an issue? Dense filter, transform, stand, self-pruning, hair, difference. This guy. And you're not working. Why? Oh, you're disabled. Sure, that makes a difference. No. So I want to see... Alright, you're disabled because of that. Yeah, that's fair. This part, though, why isn't it working the way I expect it to? So this path. How about we go in and have a look? What's your problem? Your problem is that you don't have that input likely. Or do you? No, you do. This is the PCG. Yeah, this is path line. Projection. Attribute. No data. Why do you not have data? What if I do that? And this part's not working either. Why not? I'm getting landscape data. It's probably input. But you're not outputting anything. Why not? What have I done? What if I just move this around a bit? Nothing. Oh, awesome. Exclusion zone. Could be. I just realized another thing. Oh, that's so dumb. Oh, I shouldn't have done it this way. What I should have done is probably spawn everything on the landscape, then use a spline to tell it, hey, everything outside. Okay, it's kind of what I'm doing right now, but I should have done slightly differently because it was working previously. Now it's not working anymore. Darn. I would say more on projections, everything like that. So dumb. All right, I'm gonna fix that, but first I'm going to need some water. I'm just gonna go AFK for like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. All right. So here's the plan. I'm gonna move these guys up there. I am then going to... actually, let's do this. Delete, up, input, remove, back, and escape data, put that. This needs to be a sample, surface sampler. That's projection, we don't need that anymore. Your surface sampler, let's input these. Honestly, do I need that? I don't if I have done that from the very beginning. Awesome. Okay, so and I need to input these like so. And that broke something, of course. All fine, all fine. You're not fine. I'm bound, perhaps? Yeah. Not sure why that is. Oh, it's likely due to the fact I don't have a PCG volume. Yeah. Which means I'm going to do this. We're going to delete this guy. And instead, we're going to do the forest, and we're going to drop down a volume like that. Now everything should almost... Something's working. What are you? Which do you believe it belong to? That's landscape spline. That moves if I do that. Let's keep it as is. Forest. Yeah. What if we do this, then that? Now that doesn't work. Interesting. And why is that? It's you don't like something, okay? It is extent, okay. Nope, that was not what I want to do. Let's add them all back. Delete this guy. No, it's working. Right, it needs the extent. Right, of course. Let's make it easy for ourselves. I'm just gonna remove that part. There we go. Okay. Now. We're going to... you know what? Let's keep that for now. Let's get into forest. And, let's delete it. Yeah. That's probably going to cause some issues. Yep. Let's update body directors. Let's call it forest container. And in here, we're going to create a blueprint. Let's do actor. Let's call BP forest container. Spline. Go. This spline. Put tag. It's container spline. There we go. Almost back. And we're going to take this guy, put it in the center. Let's do it like that. Can I not select that? What's going on? And let's say, let's do this again. So you should, but you're not self, right? Because now you need to find all world actors by class. Contain or something, right? Do I need that? I don't think I do. Holy shit, that's a big one. That's a lot of points. Don't need that many. How about we do quite big difference? About 1,000. Let's do that. There we go. So that is size. How about 500? No, let's do 600 just in case. Still want them to overlap, kind of. All right, close enough. And from this part, you are landscape. I'm gonna do it right there. Let's do that. Input. All right, binary. Sample size. That's too big. And do that. That off. Right. Progress. But now, instead of difference, oh, maybe it's not difference. I want to flip it around. Is it intersection then? There you go. Progress. Yes. I feel like I've said that multiple times today. Just to turn it around the next second. It's like, no, we need to change. Can I skip this part? Do I need that? I do need that. All right, fair enough. We can keep it. So, we also need one down here. Like so. Why are you complaining? What's your problem? Gonna create accessor. Was not bound. So the problem is that there's no density. Best way to add that would be to this. Wait, what was it for this? This guy doesn't have a density. Is that the problem? We do have density. So if we do that, could have had these swapped around. That might be a problem. Still complaining. So if you do that. So what I'm gonna do now is move around the spline, make sure that all the trees are covering the same area as before. And I'm thinking after that we might end the stream for today, but just gonna give it a few more minutes. Let's see, let's gonna add this about area. Like so. I think this could be a better system than I had before. Hopefully. I can get quite close to... Honestly, I could probably just follow this along. So, some of you might not have been here when I discovered this thing about the landscape spline. I'm assuming based on very little information, to be honest, but I think I saw it somewhere, that the landscape spline does not allow for PCG interior spawning, which is why I'm using this second spline. So interior spawn means that everything on the inside of that spline, while inside the spline will spawn points. And I then use those points to do something called an intersection boolean. And which more or less just tells the system, or PCG graph in this case, to, hey, everything that's within that new spline, all the points keep that. Well, all points that touch these points, which is inside that spline. Everything that touches that, just keep it. Everything outside of that additional spline, just don't keep it. And you can see that while I grab this point over here and I move it inside, you now see that it makes that cut, which is nice. But for some reason, this path right there isn't working anymore. So you're not working anymore. Chances are because something broke. Not that one. This guy. You have it open? I do. Something in this guy broke. Which, to be honest, doesn't make much sense. Unless I've done something to this guy. Do I need to do this? No. Let's make sure everything's fine. Go to the blueprint, spline, show path spline. I mean, that should be correct. So this guy should be collecting this, but it's not for some reason. Should we make it easy for ourselves? So let's just grab all of these, copy, go to this part, paste it in, and grab this guy, sure you're connected to this. Update, go this way. For now, I'm just gonna leave subgraphs out of this. Seems that it's not doing what I want. So how about this instead? No, you didn't like that at all? Okay. You did not like that at all. Like, not even for a second. Let's close some of these. Interesting. What if I do this? So something's really broken. But delete that. Get spline data. Cancel. Are you getting? You're getting the data. Am I spawning though? That is the question. Am I spawning on top of this thing? Let's do absolute 10. That's fair. On spline, distance, force. Nope. Is it? Why are you like this? Oh. When did that change? When did I change that? Did I? I mean, this part should be path spline, but in this part it says PCG path spline. No, wait. That is why. So you... Okay. Wait. So it is collecting it. This is so much fun. Why aren't you working now? Let's keep that going. Okay. So I'm not getting anything from this out from this guy. Should we try this? I can spell. What if we do that? Still nothing. It might be this part or this part. You know what? Chances are it's this part. Nope. I misspelled. I misspelled. But these are still not working. Why? My guess is... let's remove this for now. And compile. Do that. Then we get this. I still need it to be unbound because I don't have a PCG volume. That's why. It's not still not showing though. Like, yeah, of course I know what's going on. It should show. Oh. Hey, which one did I? So all of a sudden I can see it. All right. I accept. It's working. It's working. I'll make it sound like PCG is broken as hell with all my complaints. It's not really. It's just me not knowing what I'm doing. As you can see, we're all back. I think we were back at least. That exclusion zone. Don't need that to show. I should also probably move this entire thing to the same. Keep it in the family, so to say. Let's do that. Let's do that. This. Delete. Is this necessary? No, probably not. The reason I'm doing it is because subgraphs doesn't seem to work that well. At least not for me, so just keeping it clean. There's another way we can keep it clean. We could move this to a frame and add a reroute, and add a reroute to these, as we did earlier. So to be honest, we're kind of back to where we started. Now that I think about it, I might actually do that before we end the day. Yep, that's quick. Quickly done. Reroute. My name. Injection out. We're going to grab you to this part. Let's do it this way, and I'm going to add you down here. This is force container. It's, yeah. Awesome. Already cleaner. Next would be this guy. Do that straight away. This will be... this is likely the landscape spline, isn't it? Right. Urban landscape, spline, spline, set, right, yeah. Do that. All of those off. Then we have this guy. Down, surrounded by a frame. Comment. This is then the path spline points. Nice. Let's move these together. Right. Awesome. One more. Right. This is then exclusion zone. Can I do that? I can. Awesome. I just pressed the up button in the list to get to the top. Didn't know if that worked. It did. Glad it did. And finally... that is a lot cleaner. So we'll see what happens next time we're digging into this. Whatever, something else is probably going to break. But for now, I am very happy with the results. So let's just do a quick run through. And if I do that, it should be spine slightly off, I guess. Let's do this. So the idea after this, let's go to this side, by the way. I just want to see what that looks like. So my plan after this, you like what these looks like. But all of these will be, first of all, spread out a bit more, a bit too close, but they will be replaced by Megascan's assets. Same goes for these rocks. I'm going to add some small shrubs, moss, whatever you want to call it, and everything's going to be a forest landscape, or a snowy landscape. So this white will remain, but it will be proper white. After that, I want to adjust the light. So this is by no means scary or anything like that, so we need to update that part. But my main goal for the day was to make sure that no one could get past this point. They can, because there's no collider or collision on this at this stage. We could probably perhaps fix that pretty fast. I added these two. When was the landscape? I've already forgotten. Yeah, right. Mesh up. Descriptor, yes. Collision. No collision. No, we're gonna have a block all. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's use def. Let's go block all. There you go. Just gonna make sure it worked. Play from here. Can I get through? I cannot. It's not perfect collision. You can see I'm kind of being moved away from it a bit. But it is blocking me. This is blocking me. This is blocking me. So yeah, these are way too close to each other. There needs to be some kind of gap between them. I'm not sure if you all have seen this, but you can see it's kind of like a phenomenon, I guess, or it's quite natural. As far as we can tell, the reason why trees, they do, when they grow close, they don't grow this close. But what they do is the canopy has a perfect split between them. Well, it's not a straight split, but they don't touch. It's like we've decided to stay 5 inches or 5 centimeters, whatever you want to call it, away from each other. So you will find this pattern, like refraction, not reflection. Word eludes me right now, but it is a pattern, and you can see it all over canopies if you just look up. But yeah, we'll fix that at some point. So my goal, again, I'm going to repeat myself, my goal for the next stream is to replace all of these with Megascan stuff or Fab stuff, Quixel stuff, what you want to call them nowadays. So in the meantime, probably tomorrow in the morning, like tomorrow, I'll probably spend most of the day just downloading all that stuff, so we don't have to sit down, wait for the download. I'm just going to grab maybe 3 different trees, or maybe 6 different various sizes. Same with the rocks, same with the shrub and everything like that. And we might have to adapt to the type of, like, add snow to all of these. I do have an idea of how I want to do that. If it's a detailed way of doing it, if it's the best way of doing it, I have no idea so far. We'll see what happens. We'll adapt as we go along. I think that is it for the day. And let me just make sure everything's saved. And hopefully you've all been enjoying yourself. I know this is actually a longer stream than usual. I usually end about 2.5 hours. So that was nice. It's a good stream. If you like what I do, I ask that you consider at least subscribing on YouTube or here on Twitch. I would love to have everyone here. Maybe questions or feedback. Anything that you just kind of interact a bit with what I'm doing. And I hope that is interesting to everyone. So until next time, and I hope that will be sometime during this weekend. We'll see. Until next time, I hope everyone has a great morning, lunchtime, evening, day, whatever it is. And I'll see you all around. So, bye-bye.